everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maura and I'm a physical therapist and certified yoga teacher. Today I'll be sharing a practice focusing around improving your balance. Many of these poses incorporate a combination of strength and balance to improve your proprioception. As always, please make sure that it is safe for you to be practicing yoga and that you are always listening to your body. Utilize props and variations to pull into your practice at any time to make poses work for you. If you'd like to place a chair at the top of your mat here just for balance, you're welcome to include that in your practice. Or maybe you'd like to set up near a wall so you have a place to just use a fingertip to assist you with some of the standing balance poses. It's all up to you. I have some props with me, some blocks, a blanket, and a strap. I like to keep them nearby in case I'd like to pull them into my practice at any time. I'll link what I'm using in the description box below, as well as some other helpful resources and a link to where you can get my free yoga pose guide for beginners. So make sure to check that out down below. We'll get started today in a tabletop, doing some rhythmic breathing with cat-cow. So in a tabletop, hands under shoulders and knees under hips, we'll just take a few rounds centering, moving our breath, matching our breath to our movement, inhaling to cow, dropping the belly and lifting the gaze, filling the lungs, and then exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, and press away. Inhale, dropping the belly and lifting the gaze, reaching the heart forward. And exhale, round and press. And let's go through a few rounds on your own, matching your movement to your breath, trying to slow down your exhales here. One more round. And come to stillness in tabletop, neutral spine. Okay, from a neutral tabletop, let's just pull in the lower belly slightly, but don't round the spine. We want to keep a nice neutral spine with our natural curves. And then let's extend the left leg back first. Keeping it in line with the spine. We don't want it to look like this. And then match it with the right arm, pulling the core in here, connecting to your breath. And this is balance also, just because we're not on our feet. We're still developing strength and proprioception through the body, helping us learn where we are in space so we can react. And let's exhale and touch the elbow to knee. They don't actually have to touch, but just toward each other. And then inhale, back to our bird dog in line, looking down. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, round and touch. And inhale, release. Last time. Reach in opposite directions, creating length. And release your hand and knee down to the mat, rolling your weight onto the left hand and the left knee, coming up to a modified side plank. You're welcome to come up to a full plank if you'd like. And if you'd like to take it a little further by bending the knee and reaching for the foot, adding a quad stretch here, it's up to you. Lots of options for you today. Release your foot if you took that option. Look down, plant your hand, and come back into your tabletop here. Let's take 1 round of cat and cow just to release the spine. Back to your neutral tabletop, and we'll repeat that on the opposite side. This time extending with the right leg, reaching far, keeping it in line with your spine. Looking down and maybe matching with the left arm. Continue breathing here. If you've noticed it's difficult to breathe, maybe back off slightly. Exhale, touch knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Keep pressing through all of your fingers. Exhale, round, and inhale, lengthen, reach, and release. Shifting the weight into the right knee and the right hand, coming up for modified side plank, option for full plank, or option to grab that foot and come into a quad stretch. Just try and make sure you're not overextending into your lumbar spine here. Release, look down, plant your hand, plant your knee, and sit back for child's pose. Look forward and plant your hands. Tuck your toes and send your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Now this is the first one, so make sure you take any movements that make you feel comfortable and settle into this range of motion. Release the head, spreading the weight through all your fingers to take the pressure off the wrists. Inhale your right leg up. Look forward, step the foot through in between the hands and turn the back toes about 45 degrees as you press up to warrior one. Front knee is stacked over the front ankle. A lot of strength happening in this pose and some balance. You can always play around with the distance between your feet or the width in between your feet. Exhale your hands down behind you. Reach toward the back of the mat as you press into the front leg and come up for warrior three. Lots of balancing happening here. If you have your chair, you can go ahead and use that if you'd like. Try and keep that hip closed, neutral hips here in warrior three. Pressing through all four corners of the foot. Inhale to stand and draw the left knee in toward the chest. Keep breathing here. And exhale, release that foot. And set your feet about hip width distance or big toes touching, whatever's comfortable as you come down into chair. A lot of strength work happening in chair. Make sure the weight is in your heels. And in these standing poses, you can take the opportunity to feel the difference in sway and weight distribution and how that affects your balance. Inhale to stand, and we're going to come into tree pose. So any variation of tree here, maybe just using a kickstand option, bringing the foot to the calf, or bringing the foot all the way up into the thigh. Just avoid direct pressure on the knee joint and use a fingertip on a chair or a wall here. Lifting up out of your hip, engaging that standing leg. And find your focal point on something that isn't moving. Exhale, release whatever variation of tree you have taken, and let's release into a forward fold. Release the head.
Maybe gentle swaying back and forth here, bending the knees and just letting gravity pull the upper body down, stretching the spine. Plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling your left leg high this time. Look forward, shift the weight, step the hand in between the palms and turn the back toes out, pressing up into your warrior one. Release your hands down, reach toward the back of the mat and press your weight into the front foot as you come up into warrior 3. Keeping that right hip down, pelvis is level. Engaging the glutes on both legs here and taking any arm variations that you'd like. Inhale to stand. Balance challenge, keep that right foot off the floor as you draw the right knee in toward the chest. Release your foot down, coming into tree on the opposite side, shifting the weight into the left foot this time, taking any of those options. One side might be more difficult than the other, and that's completely normal. Don't worry about it. Release your tree. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog. And you can stay here or take a vinyasa, shifting forward to plank. Knees down or chaturanga, whatever's in your practice, lower down. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Notice if you're starting to settle into your downward dog a little bit more, but you can always continue to take those little weight shifting movements. You're going to inhale the right leg up again. You can bend the knee and open the hip if you'd like. And shift forward, step between the palms again. And this time we're going to turn the back foot out just a little bit more as we come up to warrior 2. Facing the long edge of the mat. Front knee is still stacked over the ankle. This is a lot easier to let it fall in toward the middle, but try not to do that because it really affects the knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. A little more balance here as our gaze is taken off of the floor. Exhale, sweep that forearm down to the front thigh and reach the other arm up and over, extended side angle. Inhale, back up through warrior 2. Now we're going to come into half moon, which is a very challenging balance pose, but there's lots of variations for you to take. I like to do it with a block, but you can also use a wall or a chair here to modify for whatever feels good for you. So from warrior 2, you're going to shift the weight into the front foot, and then you're going to, with control, lower the upper body down to a block, to a chair, Or maybe you're feeling strong and you just want to let your fingertips dangle. Try and open up toward the side of your mat. Release and float that leg back through your warrior two. Now we're gonna look down, reach for the floor, and we're gonna spin those back toes. So now everything's in neutral. We didn't leave any joints behind as we step back into downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. This almost feels like a rest after that half moon. Repeating on the other side, inhaling the leg up, maybe opening the hip if that feels good. Just keep your weight balanced between the two arms. Don't shift over to the right. Draw that foot in between the hands and open up the back toes for warrior two. Adjust your stance if you need. Inhale, reverse warrior. And try and keep that front alignment in the knee, even though you're not looking at the knee. This is where the proprioception comes in, being able to know where your body is in space. And exhale, elbow to thigh, extended side angle. Back up through warrior two. I'm gonna get my block ready. I'm gonna bring my back foot in slightly as I shift my weight into the front leg, and with control, lowering down to my block for half moon. I'm trying to open toward the side of my mat. Even that leg that's floating is engaged. Maybe flex the toes and reach through the heel. And then with control, bend that front knee, release back through warrior two. Look down, cartwheel the hands down, and then spin that back toe so that we're facing forward. Plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa, shifting forward to plank. Knees down or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Let's bring the knees to the mat toward the edges. Release the feet and coming into child's pose. 5 deep breaths here. And gently lift your head, crawl your hands back up, and come into a seated position as we take a deep inhale and exhale to close our practice today. Inhaling, arms overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me for this Yoga for Balance practice. Leave a comment below and let me know how this practice went for you and if you have any other requests. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It really does help my channel and help to support accessible yoga on the internet.
See you next time.